Well, for more on this, we're joined by political commentator Peter Zalmayev in Kiev. He is the executive director of the Eurasia Democracy Initiative. Thank you for your time. So why is Russia sending military hardware to its border and ratcheting up these tensions?
Well, there are several factors responsible for it. Well, first of all, it's getting warmer. So obviously, anytime it gets warmer, it's more convenient for such actions to take place. Second of all, the present comedian whom you mentioned, Mr. Zelensky, has not proven as pliable as Vladimir Putin expected him to be, and inexperienced as he was coming into politics from a completely different area, the area of entertainment. Mr. Zelensky has actually shown some courage and some decisiveness recently when he went after the pro-Russia media empire belonging to one of Vladimir Putin's confidants in Ukraine, closing down 3 pro-Russian TV channels and severely weakening the influence of pro-Russian narrative in Ukraine. And keep in mind, Putin's overarching goal has always been to to put these puppet regimes in the Donetsk and Luhansk back into Ukraine in order as autonomies, in order to continue influencing Ukraine's policies and prevent Ukraine from drifting further towards the West. That's one factor. And the second factor is obviously domestic politics. Putin's popularity has been in decline, partly also as a result of the actions of its chief opposition leader, Mr. Navalny, who came back to Russia after a poisoning attempt recently. He released a scandalous video that was viewed by over 100 million people investigating an opulent palace that he claimed belonged to Vladimir Putin. That led to demonstrations in hundreds of Russian cities.
Okay,
and
so you think that this might be, you think this might be a bit of a distraction technique then? I'm wondering,
exactly.
I want to ask you how you sort of get a bit more about the situation in Donbass. How shaky is the ceasefire there? What do you think the likelihood is that this might become a sort of hot conflict again, as it were?
Well, first of all, yes, you mentioned that, yes, this is a way to distract the public and change the narrative. We saw that in 2013 and 14, as you mentioned in your timeline, it's happening now again. You know, the thing is, what I'm encouraged by, despite the fact that this is a serious escalation, and there's no doubt is that the Russians are provoking it. There have been over 400 provocations in March alone. But both sides, and I mean by both sides, Russia and NATO, have been signaling that they're prepared to meet each other quite forcefully. NATO has said that it's bolstered its presence in the Black Sea area, and Russians have massed their troops around and made it clear that these are exercises on the eastern, northern border of Ukraine and from the Crimea, which means that since they're signaling to each other, I hope this means that a full outbreak will be prevented. But once again, Putin is signaling that he's not happy, that he wants to change the situation in Ukraine the way he wants it changed.
We'll have to leave it there for time. Thank you so much for your time, Peter Zalmayev there in Kiev.